Hello and welcome to Talking Good Game. It's a match preview of West Ham United against Chelsea on Wednesday night. Gonzo, how are you doing?
Not bad, thank you, mate. Yourself?
I'm not too bad. I'm good. It's cooler up here, so my sunburn is fading. Thoughts on Chelsea, please?
Well, they're the form team in the Premier League at present. Well, them and Wolves have got the two best form at the moment. Funnily enough, they are fighting it out. A big game for Chelsea, this one, actually, because this is their game in hand on Wolves. So I think they can go 5 points clear. I think it might be a couple of points ahead. Possibly they can go 5 points clear, which is the sort of daylight you're going to want in the fight for those Champions League places. Now, obviously, we understand it that... Well, actually, Chelsea are naughty boys, aren't they? So they served their punishment this year, and because they had the transfer embargo, and it looks like there's some other naughty boys who have managed to City, and that may well, if it all goes to plan, it may well let Wolves in fifth place anyway. So, it might be a moot subject. But I think they've handled it really well, Geo, actually. I think getting Lampard in was the right manager at the right time, considering that. So he's promoted youth. They've been running this academy and this system of loaning out players for year after year, and some of them they get some of them through the academy, some of them they buy in cheap and nurture, and then they let them go, like Kevin De Bruyne or Lukaku and stuff like that. And you think, well, hold on, what's this model all about? But Lampard being in there, he's actually brought the young lads through as well, the young lads at the academy, given the people who were brought in a chance as well, and he's steadied the ship. And now he may well find himself, where it looks like with Timo Werner coming in and whatnot, where he may well bear the fruits of his labour, as it were. And I think he's been afforded more patience than Abramovich might have given other people.
Yeah, I think he's done fantastic. I've been really impressed by Chelsea this season. They play good football. They've got homegrown talent there. It's not just bringing players through the academy, it's bringing English players through the academy as well, which is even more. And there's even a Scottish one there for me, Billy Gilmore. But he's given the youth a chance already, and basically saying, you've got this season before the embargo is lifted, then I'm going to bring in top class quality players to almost build around the youth, if you like. I'm going to combine the two and have hopefully an excellent squad. But I've been very impressed by them. In all honesty, I was a bit iffy with Frank Lampard. I thought, this is a big step up very quickly. He had one good season at Derby, but I thought, is it too much too soon? He was probably what Chelsea needed, in the sense that he was a legend. He already had a likability factor, whereas other managers at Chelsea, I don't think the fans took to them too well. I think with Lampard, he always had that time. You said he had time with Roma. I think he had time with the fan base, which is just as important sometimes.
Yes.
But he's no longer there because he's a legend at Chelsea. He's there on merit now. He's there because he's cutting his cloth as a manager. He's proven he can do as a manager. He's made some game decisions tactically, personnel selections, which are winning matches. He's proven he's a fine manager, and it's not just because of the players at his disposal, it's because of him, his ability as well. And I said it on the last preview we played them, I'll repeat again, the most impressive thing Lampard's done for me, I don't dislike Chelsea that much anymore. They're almost becoming likeable, if that makes sense. So he's done exceedingly well. Top four, though, it looks like they're going to get top four still in the FA Cup. I mean, it's a damn successful season for Lampard.
Oh, you'd have to say so, really. He's played with one hand tied behind his back as well. But I don't think... Well, there's certain things that you can't really cater for. And I don't think anybody quite expected Man City to... And I say this fully aware that it's going to sound ridiculous. But when I say I don't think anybody expected Man City to be quite as bad as they've been this season, of course you might look at them with their fantastic players and see where they're on the league. Well, if that's bad, us at West Ham will have some of that. But also, I don't think anybody perhaps expected Leicester to do as well as they have. Wolves surprised everybody. They were good last season, but I think a lot of people thought, what with the European excursion, they just weren't going to be able to keep it up. So for them to do that as well, so they have had challenges, and it makes Lampard's job all the more impressive. It really does. And you talk about how you like them, well, you hate them less, or whatever the words were. You don't dislike them as much. When you're going to bring through people like Tammy Abrahams and Reece James and people like that, and the young players, and then you're going to get afforded that credit. And I mean, obviously you're Scottish yourself, but particularly when you got, they got Gilmore there, as you say. But particularly with other English fans, you're gonna think that. And I'll tell you what is funny looking at it is he's not really had Loftus-Cheek
No.
this season. You remember last season when we played Chelsea?
He's the only player.
He smacked.
He's the only player I've seen bully Declan Rice.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. He smacked Declan Rice's bum last season, and not literally, of course. You get sent off for such a thing, and that wouldn't be social distancing at all. Perhaps if he had a glove or a mask on, he'd be able to do that. But anyway, he really taught him a lesson. And so I think everybody was expecting big things from Loftus-Cheek this season. Injury and one thing and another. It's not really happening. I just think, again, this is the turn to the Frank Lampard show. I think it's another feather in Lampard's cap. He's managed to do all that without certain players.
And big players coming, though. Ziyech's on his way, Werner's on his way, and that's without the transfer window even opening yet. Title challenge next season, has that got to be the aim? As in the sense that if you're going to bring in these players, you then have to go for a title, and do you think they're good enough to go on and challenge for the title?
I think it almost becomes two separate. It's not two separate questions.
It is two separate ones, though.
Can they, under normal circumstances, challenge for the title? Is that team that you just described, but the two new players coming in, can they challenge to be at the top? Yes. But we've got some freakish team up there at the moment, and have they only lost one? They might have only lost once in a year, or it might even be longer. It might even be once in, I don't know, 14, 15 months or something like that, Geo. There's some strange stuff going on, and they are an absolute force of nature, Liverpool. So can Chelsea get up there? Yes. Can they? I don't know what the deficit is. What are they, 30 points behind Liverpool?
Like
maybe something like that. Yeah. I don't know. That's a hell of a lot of a gap to bridge. I don't see Liverpool getting significantly worse. Will Chelsea get better? Yes. 30 points better? That's going to be tough.
Yeah, I think they've got to become title challengers, and I guess it's a case of what do you determine as a title challenge, because I would argue that Man City haven't been title challengers this season. So I think if they can sort of remain competitive, I guess, which is hard, but also I think the next step up, I think there is a step up between finishing Champions League and title challenger for the title, which is almost been guaranteed Champions League football every season. That's what Chelsea need to do now. They need to be finishing third, fourth, second or whatever every single season without really having a Spurs season like they are now. Spurs are out the Champions League race. Arsenal have been out for a few years. That's what they can't afford. They now need to stay in that top four and remain in there. And to be honest with you, they're bringing in two players who are world class. They are bringing in two players that can... You say, can you make up 30 points? I would argue the two players they're bringing in can earn them 30 extra points on their own, those two. Taking Willian and Giroud out and putting in Werner and Ziyech, I think that is possibly worth 30 points, turning draws into wins. Definitely. Can they do it? I'm not sure. Like you said, Liverpool is a bit of a freak of nature, but I do expect Chelsea to be a lot closer to first next season than they are to fifth. Last question on Chelsea, as always, the players you admire, please.
When I saw them play recently, I say recently, I don't know, it might be 4 years ago, I don't know. I do tend to go to Chelsea, do that one every year. I just don't know what's happened because the world's gone mad. I don't know when I last went to any sort of football match, but I like Stamford Bridge. I always never quite wondered why they want to. I think it's the best ground in the Premier League, quite frankly. 42,000 is just right. It's just right, whatever it is. Close to the pitch is lovely. But anyway, I remember seeing Rudiger and thinking, wow, that is a good player. He just seemed stronger, faster. He was brilliant. I really liked him. Don't know if he's in form or whatever, anything recently, but I think he's a very, very good player in there. I like Pulisic from the moment. I actually saw Pulisic at Dortmund. For some reason, I found myself watching a game there. Tuned in to watch Jadon Sancho when he was just starting to make a name for himself at Dortmund. Thought, I'll go and have a look at Jadon Sancho. And this kid caught my eye. And in England played America in an international or whatever. I guess it must have been a friendly. And England won really well. England thrashed them, actually. Thrashed America. But this kid was good. Pulisic was really good. So I really like him. I think he's excellent. Obviously, he's done... He scored 7-8 goals this season. And he's one of the best... I think he's got the best record. Something like he's got the best record for an under-21 player in the league or something like that. Highly impressive. Look, it's easy to pick out Kante and Mason Mount and these other guys and the rest of it. Someone who gets a lot of stick, who I actually quite like, is Ross Barkley. I think he's a good player. I really do. I think he's strong. I think he's quick. I think he can shoot off either foot. I think he passes well. He's got excellent ball control. And I think his he's one of those players. Some players that they're easy to mock. Well, actually, David Luiz probably deserves an awful lot of it, doesn't he? But I think Ross Barkley gets mocked quite a lot. I think he's a good player, Gio.
Yeah, I think Jorginho and Kovacic have been the two best players for me this season, and both really impressed me. I thought Jorginho was poor last season. This season, I think he's really stepped it up. I think Kovacic has been their player of the season. Every time I watch him, he looks like the player that they brought in, or why they brought him in. I think they've been fantastic. Mason Mount is definitely Lampard's favourite, isn't he? He always finds a space for Mount, but he's rewarding him. He's rewarding his manager, and I think Azpilicueta, I think, is one of the most underrated Premier League players of all time, to be honest with you. Do you know, when you come to do your all-time Premier League 11, you're right back. No one will say Azpilicueta. It'll always be Gary Neville, but I do think he's up there. I think he's one of the best I've seen in a long, long time at Chelsea. He never has a bad game, him. The one player I don't like is Kepa. I think he's awful. The world's most expensive goalkeeper is just... It's a bit of a shambles of a transfer, actually. Every time I watch him, I think this guy is not good. They need to upgrade him next. What are you thinking?
Who did he do? He refused to play in a game.
No, it was a cup final. He refused to come off, didn't he?
Yeah.
Sandy was telling him to come off. He wouldn't get off the pitch.
Yeah, naughty.
He stayed on, and I think he saved a pen in the shootout, didn't he? So...
Yeah, but it's still a massive, it's still an attitude problem. But that's actually that's something that's happened with Chelsea over the years. A little bit too much power in that dressing room has not been helpful. So actually, maybe it was a good thing to Lampard to bring the young players in. They're young players that would have grown up watching Lampard play as well. So I just wonder if, for once, even though they've brought an inexperienced manager in, actually they have a boss. They don't have a John Terry and this, that, and the other who basically think they're more powerful than the manager.
Anyway, enough about Chelsea. Moving on to West Ham. Before we do, just quickly about our patron. Don't get it yet. Wait until Wednesday, the 1st. Wednesday the 1st. Get it on the 1st of the month. It's when you get best value. But in July, if you're a mild Hammers Chat addict or a Hammers Chat addict, the $7 and $14, you're going to get up to, at least 27 additional videos, which is player ratings, matchday morning videos, opposition view videos, patron podcasts, a new one went up today. All that's over there. So links in the description. Have a little look, but you don't get it yet because you'll get charged today and on Wednesday. So wait, and then on Wednesday get it, because then you'll get 2 or 3 videos.
And prizes.
Yeah, I've got some more prizes. I don't have them to hand to show them, unfortunately. I've got some more delivered this week. West Ham, though, good news. Ogbonna is back. Do you have a place for him in your back four, or were you impressed so much with Diop and Balbuena you're going to leave him out?
I'll stick him at right back, quite frankly. No, I will put... I'm going to put Ogbonna back in because he's our best defender. And I just don't think that West Ham are good enough to leave out their best defender. Well, actually, our best defender, we're going to play in midfield, which is Declan Rice. So we're just not that good yet. And everyone would be kicking themselves and each other and kicking David Moyes if they could reach. If Balbuena got put in and he got torn to shreds, everybody would say, why didn't you put Ogbonna in? So I think Ogbonna's got to go in.
Who else would you play? You've got Diop and Ogbonna. Who's your fullbacks?
We've got any choice? Don't really have any choice, do we? So I'm going to shoehorn Ben Johnson in there, though. I just don't know whether to put him right or left. I'm not giving us an awful lot of thought, if the truth be known, Gio. Can we clone him? I guess we'll put Ryan Fredericks, old Speedy Gonzalez on the right, and we'll put Ben Johnson on the left.
Yeah, I put Johnson at right back just because Fredericks gives me the fear. Fredericks will keep up with Pulisic because Pulisic is lightning fast. He'll keep up with him. But Pulisic has been, the last 2 games for Chelsea, he's been their best player. He came off the bench against Villa, changed the game against Leicester. From the word go, he was the one player who was dangerous and getting on the ball. And every time I watch Pulisic make a run or run past someone, I just thought, oh no, I'm dreading him running up against Fredericks and going one-on-one with him. So I think Ben Johnson's probably a better defender. We'll be playing so deep, his pace might not matter that much. So I think it's almost like a pick your better defender. And I haven't seen Johnson enough, but I already trust him more than Ryan Fredericks defensively. I would keep the other 3 the same, Diop, Ogbonna and Creswell, just through lack of options. And Ogbonna's shirt wasn't there to be won. Unfortunately for Balbuena, I thought he had a good game, but that spot isn't up for grabs. I'd almost forgive Moyes if he kept Diop and Balbuena in there and played Ogbonna left back, to be honest with you. I would forgive him. I would say, I get what you're doing. Don't give him any attacking responsibilities. Keep as a back 4 throw because it'll be easy to go back 3. Keep as a back 4. Ogbonna's played left back for Italy and Juventus before. I'm sure he could play left back for West Ham. But that's why we like to see midfield. I think we might have the same midfield 3.
Yeah, maybe we won't. I'm dropping Mark Noble. I'm having Rice and sound like I'm ordering a meal. I'm having Rice and Souček, and I'm gonna go with Jack Wilshere in
No,
there.
mine's different. I've got Fornals in there. I
Yeah.
thought I thought that Mark Noble against Spurs was playing in the perfect role for Pablo Fornals. It was extremely frustrating, actually. We've never had the role for Pablo Fornals, and when we do create one, we don't put him there. We put Mark Noble there, who can't do it. So it was thoroughly frustrating, but I do think it presents an opportunity, and it's an easy solution for David Moyes. He doesn't have to change what we've done against Spurs. He just has to move someone across. I get why you put Jack Wilshere in, though. I'm not averse to that. Does that mean you've dropped Fornals as well, then, or are you keeping him on the wing?
I have dropped Fornals. I mean, you're absolutely right, but I know somebody who won't share your thought process, and that'll be David Moyes, because he just won't play Fornals separate central, which is why I've gone with this formation. But yes, I have dropped him from the team because I'm going to play, which to preempt your next question, I'm going to play Antonio on the left, and I'm going to play Bowen on the right, which leaves no room for Fornals.
I've also played those two. Now, the team news for you at home is no Sebastian Aller. Aller is still nursing a injury, which, by the sounds of it, he's back in training lightly, but they don't want to risk him against Chelsea. They're going to keep him for the Newcastle game on Sunday. So, have we got the same striker? Because I think you know who I'm going to have up front, but I don't know who you are going to have, because you don't mind a wild card. So
I do love a wild card.
So I wouldn't be surprised if you've gone for a punt up here with Silva.
No, I've actually gone with a Jetty. I don't blame the club for saving Haller so he can get injured against Newcastle instead. But I would go with a Jetty for this one as well. Look, he's played. I think he's an international.
Yeah, he's a regular Swiss international.
Swiss international. A Swish. I
didn't say he was that good.
Swiss international. I think he might have played some European football as well with his club, with Basel.
Yeah, he's played in Champions League qualifiers before we signed him.
I'm on a roll. I've got an encyclopedic knowledge of this geezer. What's his name? Anyway, yeah, we'll play him up front.
I get it. Well, I've only seen him play for Switzerland. I've not seen him play for West Ham. But the brief spells I've seen him play for Switzerland while at West Ham, he's looked all right. His movements looked all right. His finishing, you can tell he's lacking confidence. He's taking 3 touches when 2 is the maximum you can have, and then he gets closed down. But he's getting involved and his movement's good. I've gone for Yarmolenko for the same reason I mentioned the last game. He's a finisher. He is our best finisher at the club. Shoots on sight, will have a dig from 30 yards out. He's not fast, but he's also got the technique to. He's a big boy. I expect him to be able to hold it up as well. But he's also got the technique to find passes as well. That's something I don't know if I can attribute to a Jetty. I don't know if a Jetty can get it, swivel, and play Bowen in. But I know Yarmolenko can do that. I've witnessed it at West Ham. He set that Sebastian Aller up at Bournemouth wonderfully. I want to see a bit of that. I want to see Yarmolenko up there. He's got to be given a chance, because when Sebastian Aller's back, that chance is gone. Because the 45 million striker, barring a man of match performance from our striker on Wednesday, the 45 million man's going to walk straight back in. David Moyes already told us after the Spurs game, how do you replace a £50 million Bundesliga striker? Well, that's plain and obvious. Moyes thinks he's irreplaceable. So unless whoever's up front scores, he's on the bench against Newcastle, so let's try something different. Let's give Yarmolenko a go, or even a Jetty. I don't want to see Antonio up front with Anderson on the left wing, because we've witnessed that and it doesn't work, so let's try something different. Is this game a bit of a free hit? We've now got a game in hand compared to Villa and Watford, who got beat against lesser opponents at the weekend. The only iffiness is that Bournemouth played Newcastle prior to our game, so by the time we kick off, Bournemouth might have beaten Newcastle, and therefore it's a bit different. But let's just hypothetically say Bournemouth lose. It's a free hit.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Geo, everybody else wants to stay up less than we do, by the looks of it. So they've given us a free hit. We may well just easily be able to lose this game, and as you ridiculously suggest, still be out of the bottom 3. It's silly. It really is. I don't understand. This is very odd. We can only put it down to the massive gap in the season that seems to have hindered everybody. Maybe just all the teams that were in and around the bottom mob of have just had a lot of time to dwell on it and think about it, and rather than coming back refreshed, they've just come back very, very stale and worried about going down, and it's hindering the performance. I don't know what's going on, but we find ourselves in a position like that Liverpool position we were in. You know, you do. So, and we were all right. They had a lot of luck went from in that game, and you know, look. Obviously, they're fantastic Liverpool, but we were all right in that game, and I thought we did our job really well. It's going to be but it is a free hit, and because it's a free hit, I'd like to see us go for it and try and score a goal. That would be nice.
Short time could be nice.
I tell you what, I don't expect much in my football, do I? If you can kick the ball a bit and put it into the net thing once in a while, that might be nice. Because Chelsea are going to enjoy possession in an away game that they've probably not encountered under Frank Lampard before. It really, there's going to seem sometimes like there's nobody else there apart from the Chelsea team, and I just would like David Moyes to say, go and surprise them. Let's set up the counter and let's get shots on. I wouldn't mind that just being the instruction. Can I have shots, please? Can I have shots? They do not come back in here at half time having not tested their goalkeeper, because we never test the opposition goalkeepers.
I don't know. I think Chelsea, it's going to be similar to when Chelsea played at Villa Park last weekend or the week before. They had all the possession. They were battering Villa. They were putting balls in the box, left, right and centre, and they were just a millimetre away from getting the touch to put it in the net. And then Villa took the lead because they got a set piece, put it in the area, bounced around, and we got put in there. Chelsea's defence is always good for a mistake in them. They've always got an error. It's not always a big glaring one like David Luiz style. It's not always that, but there's always someone that switches off. Like Villa, Christensen stood still. The ball come in, he stood still, got rebounded, and his man went and knocked in the back of the net because he was standing still watching. So Chelsea's defence is suspect at times, but it's only suspect if you get at them. If you leave them alone, they're not going to make a mistake. And if they do, it's fine. They're not going to be bothered by it because you're not there. So you need to hassle them. You need to put pressure on them. The Leicester game, I only watched the first half of their game against Leicester because I switched over for the Southampton-Watford one. But Leicester come out fast. Leicester came out their trap straight away. And Chelsea's defence was flustered. They couldn't get on the ball. They were Leicester just kept coming and coming and coming. Lampard made changes at the break that went on to win the game. But it shows you've got an opportunity if you want to have a go at them. And I just hope that Moyes sees this as a free hit like he did at Anfield and says, go on and have a go. If it goes 1-0 down, then we'll start to retreat a bit and think about the goal difference. But while it's 0-0, give them something to worry about. Just shake up their team a little bit. Test them. I do think if we approach it with the right manner, we create some half chances against Spurs. They didn't always end in a result in a shot, a goal of that, but we create stuff. We create something, right? So we need to just create a bit more. The good thing, though, I actually think Lampard could play into David Moyes' hands here, believe it or not, for a little while. I think he'll start as Giroud up front. I think the aim will be get the ball in the box. They're going to be camped in their box, so we're going to have to cross it. So I'm going to get my best guy that's best in the air in there, and that's Giroud. And like at Stamford Bridge, I think we'll handle him. If we can handle Giroud in the air, 50-50s, Chelsea will struggle a little bit. Then the question comes down to Pulisic and that, and say what you're going to do about it. And they'll just keep putting the crosses in, and it'll help us. But Lampard will change it. If it's not working, he will change. He will just throw attackers on. Against Leicester, he had one defensive midfielder, 4 defenders, and the rest were attacking players. That was it. He was on you go. Mount, Barkley, go. But I do think we're going to have a 45-minute window of opportunity here to do something against Chelsea. I think at the half-time we're snookered. Unless, even if we're winning, we're drawing, whatever, it's done. Moyes have got 45 minutes to do something against Chelsea and hope that the Giroud's up front and their defence are a bit shaky. But I can't see it. Are you optimistic?
No. I mean, but look, they've played an extra game. If you want to take anything from that, you're more than welcome. But I'm not optimistic.
Chelsea have played 2 games. Where you talk about the people around us.
They played. We've had a bit of a break.
Yeah, but Chelsea played 2 games since we last played. We played on Tuesday. They played on Thursday and Sunday, and they rotated heavily against Leicester. But they've had 2 games, whereas we've had an 8-day rest. I'm not optimistic, But I'm not nervous anymore for this one, and it's because Watford and Villa have been beaten. I feel quite calm going into it. I'll be a bit nervous with the Bournemouth-Newcastle game prior, but if Bournemouth get beat, we've got nothing to lose. We get beat, it's not the end of the world. We've got a lot to gain, though. Even just a respectable scoreline with us getting on the score sheet would almost be enough just for confidence. But with all that said and done, can I get your final words and your score prediction, please, Gonzo?
Yeah, well, look, Gio, it just seems the more we lose, the safer we become in the league. So with that theme in mind, I'm predicting a 2-0 loss and us moving steadily towards the Champions League places, mate.
I think we're going to score. I think we'll still get beat, but I think we'll score. So I'm dithering between 2-1 and 3-1 just to pay homage to David Moyes for my dithering. So I will go for 2-1 Chelsea. I don't think we'll win, but I think we'll be competitive, perhaps is the word. Anyway, you guys at home, you can join us on Wednesday night at 7:15. The game's at 8:15. Just before 7:15, because we'll have a little discussion with how the Bournemouth-Newcastle game's going. So you can join us at 7:10 on Wednesday, myself and Gonzo, for a build-up with all the team news. And then straight after that, we've got a watch-along for the duration of the game, followed by the review. Like I said, if you want to become a patron of Hammers Chat and support us, links in the description, or go to patreon.com/Hammers Chat. But don't join until Wednesday. Please, 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 do not join until Wednesday. It's better value for you, but you're going to get loads of content based around every match between now and then this season. There's 7 left, 27 videos. So you want 27 more Hammers Chat videos? We'll see you on Patreon. And Gonzo, I'll see you on Wednesday.
Good
If you enjoy the video, drop a like on it, subscribe when you're around here, and we'll see you in a bit.